Welcome, everyone, to the Courageous Truth Podcast. As always, I am honored that you have chosen to spend a little bit of time with me today. A very quick episode. I'm getting ready to go on vacation. Here with my family, we're going to go up to the mountains for a few days and relax. But I really wanted to jump on and just talk about how we're in the middle of history right now. What we are seeing, if you're paying attention and you're not listening to the mainstream pop propaganda media, you are seeing a massive movement of citizens respectfully and peacefully protesting mandates, mask, vaccines, business, whatever. They're protesting there are millions and millions of people worldwide coming together to stand against the tyrannical mandates of the government in their particular country, state, province, whatever. And it is a beautiful thing. And I'm a lot of ways, I'm recording this episode so I can remember this moment. We're seeing the truckers in Canada and what they're facing. The truckers in Canada that have occupied Ottawa, the capital of Canada, they raised $10 million on GoFundMe. GoFundMe is refusing to release the funds and are releasing it back to the donors, or saying there's a lot of rumors going around, but basically they're not allowing the money to go to the truckers. There are citizens trying to bring the truckers gasoline. Ottawa police, Canadian police, have been told to arrest and fine people bringing gas cans throughout the protest. And in fact, it was made illegal by a judge to honk your horn in Ottawa for 10 days. They are doing everything they can to silence this freedom movement, and it is not working. What has got me the most excited is something I've been waiting for a long, long time, and this is a mask protest, M-A-S-K, protest led by students. On February 1st, there was a video that started to go viral of a high school student in Washougal, Washington, that gave a speech to a group of high school students the night before, or after school, the day before they had a protest planned for the next day. I want you to listen to the words and the passion of this young man. I believe he's a senior in high school. This video has since gone viral. If you have not heard his speech, then I am surprised. But I want you to listen to the words he says right now.
This is not an excuse for any of you freshmen and sophomores to disrespect your teachers. If I hear of anybody disrespecting teachers or staff tomorrow, that makes us look bad. We want this to be a peaceful, respectful movement. We are just trying to gain back our rights as citizens. We do not care about the teachers. In the end, are just doing their jobs. It doesn't come from them. It comes from the state. Now, what we're hoping is that they kick us out. This sounds bad, but we're hoping that they kick us out, because they have to report that attendance to the state. And if the state sees a day where 100, or I don't even know how many kids are here, are absent, they're going to start asking questions. Our hope is we can get this statewide. Now, I might get in trouble for this, but the plan still stands for Wednesday. For tomorrow, I mean. Everybody is going to meet at the back row of the senior parking lot, and we're all walking into the school with no mask on. You can get me in trouble. They can suspend me. I don't care. We're done with this. And obviously all of you are too. Shut up. Obviously all you are done with the mask too. Now again, we're doing this peacefully and respectfully. If a staff member asks you to put a mask on, you say no thank you and keep walking. And if they kick you out, then go home. And if people need rides home, then some of the seniors, I'm sure we can start giving people rides home. That's about it.
And if you listen to the way he worded everything, he was not he was doing everything in such a respectful way where the entire attention was put upon the cause. It wasn't put on the attitudes. It wasn't put on the victimhood. They weren't even acting like victims. They were just saying, we want our rights back, and this is how we're going to get them. If we're not going to disrespect teachers, staff, we're not going to do it. We're going to obey them because they're our authority. But we want our rights back as citizens, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. It's an amazing thing, and we're seeing this spread to high schools and middle schools all across Washington and all over the place. And it's working. I just have read of 2 states that are lifting indoor mask mandates. 2 states. I believe it was New Jersey I read about, and even Oregon, of all places. And their tyrannical governor just as bad as Inslee up here. Now, of course, these restrictions are going to start lifting because the people have power. But they're not going to say it's because of the people, and that's okay. We know that it is. Tyrants are cowards because tyrants need power. They're not there to serve the people. They're there to rule over the people and have political power so they can gain a bigger platform or more, have it benefit their career more. And like I said before, I am so excited about the mask mandate and the fight that people are going, because we're realizing that school boards aren't working because the school boards do not care. They do not care. They're elected officials that should care, and they don't. You can say it's because their hands are tied, but their hands aren't. They can take a stand like parents, but it's not working. So we're going to have to go to the source. We're going to have to go to the source and quit wearing the stupid masks. Quit wearing them. They don't do any good. I'm going to be very bold and say this, and I've said this in front of my church. Forced masking of children is child abuse. Listen very carefully. Forced masking of children is child abuse. Why? Number 1, it restricts their breathing. I don't care what kind of mask you have. Number 2, it hides their face. It hides their identity. It can break their spirit. It robs them of learning facial cues, facial expressions, and facial recognition. A lot of these kids, the only world that they can even remember over the past 2 years is not seeing anybody's face but their own families. They go into public and everyone is masked. They're missing out on social cues. Now, there is Simeon Gold, Dr. Gold of the Frontline Doctors, did a huge story on masks. There's tons of data that proves that these things are dangerous. I'm not even going to get into that. You go look up Frontline Doctors mask studies. You'll find plenty of evidence to back up what I'm saying. I'm just saying it as a logical, use your brain and think about why these masks are bad. Dentists are seeing a rise in cavities. You're breathing in carbon monoxide and all your germs all day. It's gross. And masks are all over the place. They're all over the floor. They're all over the parking lots. They're I'm sure, in the oceans, causing issues. So these things have got to go. We are seeing a huge rise in freedom rallies and freedom protests that are protesting one thing in freedom. And we're priding ourselves on the fact that we're peaceful, on the fact that there's no violence or nothing. It's a beautiful, beautiful time to be an American, to be alive right now. As the church, should we protest? Should we stand with them? You bet we should. Absolutely we should. We should stand with our brothers and sisters. We should stand and be a good witness. We should stand and be leaders, because the church is going to be the only leadership that these people know, the only leadership these people have to fall back on. And I know I'm getting a little bit fired up right now, but that's okay. So I hope you take the things that I said. Hope you consider them. Where can you take a stand? Where can you stand for freedom? Where can you expose these horrible lies that are happening all around you? The time is now for us to wake up. And like I said before, I'm mainly recording this just to archive it. so that I can have it to remember this moment in history. Here's my question. In this moment of history, were you taking a courageous stand or were you hiding in silence? History will be told one way or the other. But where were you? Where were you? Were you standing or were you hiding? History is yours to write. So God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week. Don't forget, you can tune into Courageous Generation Church's podcast. Look it up. It's our church. Still figuring out all the sound for that. But it's a great podcast, more Bible teaching, of course, sermons, worship, all that. So thank you for taking a courageous stand for the truth, and I will see you next time.